Good evening, everyone, or good morning. And to be honest, I wasn't going to make another video again for a long time. Especially after the events of the past several days where I had relevant information passed along to me from a source who was incarcerated with Keegan Kline. And people proceeded to take that information, as you may have seen in my other video I left up, and just ran with it and did whatever the heck they wanted with it. So needless to say, I was very, very discouraged because no matter what amount of explaining I did, no matter what amount of answering questions I did, I came to realize that this is still the internet and people are going to behave like it, whether I like it or not. Now, I'm not going to go and put that video back up because, honestly, that video and that information is where it belongs now, and that's in the hands of law enforcement who thought it was at least credible enough to use that information that I got to them from this source, and they conducted an interview with my source. And I'm not going to reveal any other details about it besides that, but I want to open with this thought from Doug Carter.
What is the focus of your investigation right now, and what is the evidence telling you?
Well, I'm not going to talk about the evidence. I think we've done a fair job of doing that over the course of these last 5 years. There's been a tremendous amount of speculation, Rich, about what we know and what we don't know. I think most people's intentions are good when they've done their own courses of investigations globally. But I'm pretty confident in the place where we are right now.
He's talking to all of you and us, YouTube community, when he talks about investigations that are done globally. And he also says he's very, very confident with where the investigation is right now. And I want people to keep that in mind. Investigators know what they're looking for when somebody leaves a tip. Investigators have really honed this investigation in on whatever it is they're looking for. Again, I'm not going to go off on wild speculation or rumors or anything like that. But one of the reasons I wanted to make this video is I want to keep reassuring people that if I'm posting something on this channel as a journalist of 26 years, the source that it's coming from is going to be a real, vetted, verified source no matter what. I also want to remind everybody that in any of my videos, I'm not accusing anyone. I'm not saying that the information that Keegan Kline allegedly gave my source is accurate. I'm merely sharing vetted information with people, with the proper people, and giving it to them first before even making these videos, nonetheless. So, with that, I want everybody to make sure that there's no mistake. Doug Carter also said earlier in this investigation, no tip is too small. And that's one of the reasons why I made this video. A main reason. One of the things that I've learned over the years investigating these types of killers and crimes and things like that is ego with this type of violent killer is often a very, very real thing. For example, during the BTK murder investigations, the thing that got him caught was his ego. He thought that he could outsmart the police. He thought that he could send them a floppy disk, and the police told him, nope, there's no way to trace that. Well, the police lied, and that's what ended up getting him caught because they traced it back to the church where he was working at, and it had his name on the disk as one of the administrators, basically. So, again, needless to say, that's why I don't completely ever ignore anything I see on my page, big or small. And I kind of want to leave that out there. As much as I want to shut my videos down, I kind of want to leave some of these videos out there because you never know who's going to comment, and you'll see why that matters in a moment. On one of my videos, entitled "Woman Claims She Witnessed Someone Drown Abby and Libby," there was a comment on my page where a woman swore that she saw somebody in a red suit holding down Abby, making sure she was dead. And lo and behold, tons of people left comments saying, well, that's BS, that's nonsense, etc., etc. It's just them watching the helicopter footage of the searchers. But how do we know for sure? What if it's that 1% to where it actually was somebody who was an eyewitness that was afraid to tell the truth? The other example is, in this most recent incident, this source that I got told me DNR were his initials that he wanted me to use. My source told me that he went to other pages and left comments, and nobody believed him. But guess what? He ended up proving to me that he was a real source, not some crazy nut job, despite his past criminal history, and proved to me that he really was in jail with this person and showed me drawings, documents, information. So all the people that would have initially said, well, that's just crazy, you know, it turned out to be a real tip that led to a real investigation. Which leads me to this next one right here. I also made a video that says, did Bridge Guy fall into law enforcement's trap? Lo and behold, would you look at that? Right there. There's somebody who used Bridge Guy's avatar and named themselves Bridge Guy and wrote on my page, greetings, in the comments section. Do I think that there's a 99.9% chance that that person's totally screwing around? Yes. There's sick people out there everywhere. But after thinking about it, I actually wrote back, and I never got a response back. But I wrote, I'll play your game. Tell us something about the crime scene only Bridge Guy would know. Otherwise, this is a pretty sad and desperate attempt to seek attention, whoever you really are. But don't be surprised when law enforcement comes knocking at your door for interfering with a federal investigation if you aren't who you claim to be. But again, what if there's that 0.1%? What if this is somebody who's just got that kind of BTK ego I was talking about earlier? And this will bring me to the last part of my video, and I'm going to make it quick here. When I was working as an editor at Patch.com, and don't attempt to dox this name like some of you people did. Oh, I know who this is. BS. You never assume anything. A lot of you tried to dox my source, and a lot of you were wrong, too, because sometimes things go through third and fourth channels and sources. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. That person. But anyway, I was working as a guest editor here, and there was an unsolved murder in 1993 in a community in Illinois. And even though they had the suspect's DNA under this girl's fingernails, Trisha Pacaccio was her name, they didn't arrest the suspect, Michael Gargiulo, who later went on to move to California and become known as the Hollywood Ripper, and he even killed Ashton Kutcher's girlfriend. What was the thing that brought charges on the case in Illinois? Well, it was when I forwarded an information in the comments section to authorities and the Cook County State's Attorney's Office that everyone thought was total BS, but it turned out it wasn't. And you go down to Patch's role in the investigation, it says, as a result of the source Patch passed on, the state's attorney's office will be charging Gargiulo in the Trisha Pacaccio case. This case was cold for 18 years until I forwarded them this information. Nothing else was able to do it for 17 years, Maureen Maher said of 48 Hours. Glenview Patch was a conduit. Folks, if you have any tip, big or small, that you think might be relevant, send it to investigators, because it could be the one that breaks this case.